Yeah, so poor Nova. Nova is dealing with some serious truth coming out right now. Nova has to deal with the reality that her little relationship with that married cop, we find out his name's Calvin, he is on the rocks. He's pissed at her. He's pissed at her because of the fact that her article that made on the front page, that went viral. Now it's exposed the whole corruption of the, the cops and the police and everything of that nature. Of course, we can't just generalize, but it has to do with the cops that were pretty much unlawfully arresting minorities, black men, and putting them, young black men, putting them in the prison system for small petty crimes when you have, let's say, white counterparts who do similar things and are able to get away with it. So Nova and him are arguing like, oh, Calvin saying how you just messed up. He's not saying that he messed up a good thing. He understands what she's saying. He understands that she's telling the truth, but he's just saying that because of what she did, now he has to go and figure out how is it that he's going to be able to still do his job, because everyone, the whole department's scrambling. You know, there's good men and women like him every day who work and don't do any of the stuff that she's talking about. She's like, yeah, but there was this boy who, too sweet, who at the end of the day, he was taken advantage of. And, the reason why he got that name was because of the fact that regardless of his situation, he still came out as this nice, lovable, sweet boy, man. And so that's why he got the name Too Sweet. And the whole thing is, you're trying to say that I wasn't supposed to help him? You're upset with me because, no, I didn't know originally when I went to the hospital that I was going to go and deal with the reality that, okay, this boy, he's been so beaten up and bruised that I'm going to go and make him the face of this new movement that I'm trying to do. Because Calvin feels used. It's just like, I did this for you as a courtesy. You went and decided, oh, you're going to take matters into your own hands and use my kindness for weakness and basically try to blast the whole department. She's just like, yeah, and are we going to continue to argue about this, or are you going to go and leave? Because we're going to have difference of opinions. Oh yeah, guys, my name is Romie, by the way. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is my review for Queen Sugar Season 1, Episode 5, by any chance. And so Charlie is talking to Micah, and Davis goes and barges into the room. It's just like, oh, so we're going to play? It's just like, yeah, hold on. And so right now, Charlie's trying to figure out what she's going to do with her son. She wants her son to go to counseling. He just wants to stay at home and be homeschooled because he's starting to realize what she was trying to tell him in the first place, that things were going to get a lot worse before they get better, and that maybe it wasn't a good idea for him to be back home. Poor Violet, Aunt V, because there's this new young buck who's in charge of the High Yellow. Only in the South you can name an establishment High Yellow and get away with it. And he's trying to give her some new rules. This is how you greet customers. She's saying, I know how you greet customers because I have an amazing repeat customer turnaround. So she's just like, yeah, I'm going to do what I do best. I told you I was going to be late because I actually called you 20 minutes ago to tell you that I was going to be 10 minutes late, and I'm 10 minutes late. Don't do it. I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. Charlie's talking with the hooker prostitute that is trying to say that Davis and the other 4 players raped her. And so she's just like, look, you don't know your husband. And I'm thinking, Charlie, you're right. You don't know your husband. You have no idea what he actually did to her while he was in that room. Because he did admit that he had sex with her. He's saying that he didn't rape her. And I'm so conflicted because she's saying, because Charlie's like, I don't know what those other men did to you. So I can't speak for them. But I know my husband, he didn't do it. She's saying, clearly you don't know your husband. And matters are going to be worse now. So why don't you go, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do afterwards. Because, I mean, Charlie showed up at this woman's house abruptly. I'm assuming that woman was her mom who was serving her. I'm like, so you really just let this woman into your house like that? Oh, well, come on now. This is a grade A scam setup. Charlie's lawyer's just like, what you did made things worse because this woman, she wasn't accepting your original deal because she has a rape kit. Now, do we know if Davis's evidence is in that rape kit? No. We do know she has a rape kit. We do know now it's going to be a federal offense. It's going to go to the federal court. This is going to go to trial whether you like it or not. And now we have to play ball. We have to figure out how we can stop her before things get worse. So just back off. In the same conversation, Charlie switches over and talks to Ralph Angel. And we didn't see Blue this episode. Charlie's just like, oh, so how's it going? So it's like, good. Oh, so I'm going to be down for the auction today. Are you prepared? Ready? It's just like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, so why are you going to tell me about the $15,000 that you blew on the bad sugarcane? It's just like, come on. Come on. You're supposed to be handling things while I'm down there. You know what? Don't worry about it. I realize that I probably just need to be down there more, period. I'm thinking, yeah, you should have been down there more, period. But, don't go and talk down to Ralph Angel like that. Let's be real. You're going to make a couple of mistakes yourself, and you don't really know what you're doing either. So, don't do this to your brother. Clearly, you guys aren't as close as you should be, because if you were, then you wouldn't be treating him like this. I understand it was $15,000, and you're looking at, like, Lord Jesus, I might lose everything, not even in this farm, but with this court case, so I can't afford anything extra. Ralph Angel's pissed at the guy who originally did his work for him and also gave him the deal with the sugarcane. The guy's just like, look, I didn't know anything about the sugarcane being bad. You get some good deals, you get some bad deals. I'm thinking, Ralph Angel, you need to run away from this guy because this guy is a grade A scammer. Run away from him. You cannot trust him because you know he's no good. This is the type of guy who gets out of jail and does, what is it, white collar crime? Or tries to get into white collar crime instead of blue collar. Or something of that nature. So you need to run. Aunt V, she's off from work and she sees her old friends. One is a executive from Enron and she works in New York. And I forgot what the other one does. But, you know, they're just saying how great Aunt V looks. And it's just like, oh, it must be Hollywood. And everything's going well until Aunt V is greeted again by that young buck who runs the Hyella. And this is where they find out that, well, this is where her executive friend finds out that, no, she actually works at the Hyella. She doesn't own the Hyella. And she's extremely embarrassed because the guy is so rude, so disrespectful, and so demeaning. She's like, my time is over. I worked my shift. And it's just like, no, I need you to work an extra shift. You're going to do it now. You're here. And I'm thinking, who are you? This kid, look, this kid is a terror. A complete and utter terror. And her friends felt so bad. But I appreciate the fact that her friends weren't looking at her like, girl, you really working here? It was more so like, wow, this kid played you. And you don't deserve that. But we're going to be quiet because we know that there's nothing you can really do right now. So she was just like, you know what? I'm going to go. And it was great to see you guys. Because she was there. The executive was there to see her grandbaby. It's just like, it was really nice seeing you guys. And I was like, oh gosh, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't be strong. Don't cry. Don't cry. Then Aunt V goes and talks to Hollywood and says how she really misses him. And that's all well and good. But this is where we find out what Hollywood was actually doing in that time frame. Hollywood went to go and get his wife. Oh, I should say his wife that he's separated from. Because she's in the psychiatric ward due to the fact that she tried to commit suicide. So he now has to go there and so that she can be officially discharged. Now, I'm thinking, okay, this is interesting. But at some point, this is going to be found out because if the wife is a little, then you know that information always comes back. Nova comes home, and of course Charlie's there, and then they just kind of talk about what's going on, and Charlie's just like, you know, I'm proud of you. I saw your article, and actually everyone saw it. It went viral. So congratulations here, and you're really doing a good thing. It's like, again, thank you. And it's just like, what's going on at home? You know, just still handling stuff. It is what it is type of thing. Aunt V comes home, and they immediately see that, whoa, her energy's down. She's just like, you know what, hey guys, sometimes the best thing you can do is just go to sleep and wake up the next day. I'm like, oh no, she's defeated. So then that's when Nova pulls out a spliff. It's just like, come on, you know you want some. She's just like, okay, you're right. So next thing we know, they're all passing it around and just talking about what's going on in their lives. And this is where they find out Nova does have someone. They're like, and Charlie's like, male or female? I'm like, I can see that, Nova. I can see that. She's just like, you know, it's basically where my spirit takes me. Because Aunt V was talking about Hollywood and how great he is in bed and how much she really appreciates his man parts and him in general. And Charlie right now, maybe a couple of weeks from now or a couple of episodes, she'll be able to have a conversation about her and Micah. But I'm glad that the family was able to come together over something like that, because they all are going through a lot. So Remy comes over because Remy's going to go and help, Remy's going to go and help Charlie out. And he's just like, well, you need to test the soil. So it's like, okay. And she's like, you need to just go, and it's sweet. So just going, I'm thinking, girl, there's feces, there's all type of chemical. You really got, come on. You're smarter than that. Don't fall, come on. They're trying to play you right now. It's just like, no, don't do that. Silly. And remember the old guy who's friends with the father, with Ernest? Yeah. He's back because Remy's like, you need a farm manager. You need a real farm manager. And she was like, oh, thank you for considering. It's just like, I'm not considering the job. I'm not considering the job. I'm just doing this as a courtesy for Remy and your father. So it's just like, oh, we're going to till 300 acres. No, you're not going to be able to do that. Decrease it to 200. Oh, okay, 200. Great. And so when she was putting the information in her phone, it's just like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Are you texting someone on my time? It's like, oh, no, nothing like that. I'm recording the information. You know what? Yeah, my phone divided attention. Now, when Ralph Angel's at work, he worked 40 hours a week, and I thought maybe it was because of the hours that the other guy worked for him. But no, he worked 40 hours a week, and this week, but he only got paid 32 hours. He got shorted a day because of the fact that this is where he finds out this is one of the downsides to being an inmate, to being an ex-inmate, an ex-con. People can take advantage of you because of your situation, and they know that you can't do anything about it, because if you do, then you could possibly get into more trouble. It's just a whole cycle. So he's pissed. He looks like he's about to beat up his boss, but he knows he needs a job. So he gets back to work, and this is where the sketchy dude who told him about the sugarcane tries to give him another idea. It's just like, you know, they're just going to use and abuse us, so we need to rock the system. There's shipments that come in. You realize there's valuable stuff in these shipments. If we go and just change the code, we can pocket some of the product in the shipment and then sell it. And now I didn't realize they had phones. So you know, phones start at a couple $100 up to close to $1,000 a phone. So regardless if it's Samsung or Apple, so that could be a good racket. Now that's completely wrong and immoral, but if Ralph Angel's going to do something wrong, you better go big or go home. Unfortunately, I hope he doesn't. He does. But Aunt V quits because the young buck at her job is trying to convince her, you know, why did you go and short that customer $5? She said no. The customer shorted us $3 before, so she gave us the order that she did. It covered the two, and she gave $1 to the store. $1 to me is a tip. So here's how this works. That's how you keep a good customer. That's how you keep a good customer. He said, well, don't even do stuff like that again. What's wrong? She said, you know what? I quit. Before I do something I regret to you, young buck, I quit. Quit! And I'm glad she did, because it's better she quit than make a fool of herself. I don't know what she's going to do next, but hey. Anyway, Nova is talking to this guy who we saw in the beginning of the series, who she's been selling weed to, who goes and distributes out to the community. Now, the issue is, the guy actually does know Too Sweet, knows his brother, so he's just like, yeah, it's messed up what he did, so of course I'm gonna go and contribute and help out. It's just like, okay, that's great. But this is when Noah finds out some of the weed that she gave this guy, he gave it to Too Sweet. So that's why he feels responsible. He feels responsible because the weed that he gave to Too Sweet, that's the weed that was on him when he got caught up by the police. So has this, oh my gosh. I'm thinking I'm helping the community, but in reality, I could be harming it by selling the stuff that some of our men are getting caught up and incarcerated for. So Calvin comes back and he barges in. I'm thinking, wait, so is this just normal? Because the guy acted like it was completely normal that Calvin just went and barged into that house. Because the whole thing shaked. I'm like, what? So Calvin's pissed. He's really pissed because it's just like, you're really messing up things for me in my department, and you need to quit it. For one boy, she said, yes, one is enough. And I appreciate that she stood her ground, because that's how it is. One is enough. If you let one person go and get taken advantage of, then that's the start of it. One is enough. And that's what she was trying to drill in his head. He's just like, you know, we're not all bad. She's like, I understand, but it doesn't matter. I have to do what's best for my community. You are such a hypocrite, Nova. That's what he's telling her, because you're selling to your community and you're aiding in the police arresting the men that you're trying to quote-unquote protect. He wasn't wrong about what he said, but Nova was over it because she knew he was right to a certain degree. So she was just like, get out and don't come back. He says, I understand why you dealt with a married white man, because you didn't want commitment. You knew this would fall through eventually, so you could go and have a clean break. She said, yeah, well, about that clean break, leave your key while you're at it. So that's the end of that. I'm glad that situation's over, because she doesn't need to be the side chick. She doesn't need to be anyone's side chick. Oh yeah, and by the way, she was also doing a protection spell for Too Sweet. And now it's time for the auction. Everyone's there except for Ralph Angel. He's going to be late. Even Aunt Vi got there before him. And so the auction starts. And originally it looked like while this is going on, we see that Ralph Angel indeed goes and he's going to be working with that scammer dude. No, actually, he's not a scammer. He's a booster, because he's taking products, stealing products. So that booster guy, and so it's phones. As I said, it's phones. And I'm thinking, Ralph Angel, we know at some point the police come after you. They can come after you for a bunch of things. I really hope it's not for something like this. I really hope it's not so... Oh, God. So they're trying to tell Charlie, don't get baited by Langdon, because he's going to try and make sure that you go and pay too much for certain equipment. Stay within budget. Buy the equipment that you need. Though, we see another thing of Hollywood. He brings his wife home, well, his ex-wife home, and she's trying to sleep with him. He's like, no. And she's like, oh, because you have someone else. And this is where Vi is actually calling him, and he doesn't pick up. Thankfully, the ex-wife didn't get to the phone in time, because that would have been interesting if she did. You see all these, I felt bad because like, you see all these, it looks like relatively poor, hard-working farmers, and then you see these rich tycoon type that probably have all the money to buy the good equipment and leave the scraps to the rest. And so, while this was going on, Charlie did get baited, and she spent double the price on a tractor, and Ralph Angel was pissed because Ralph Angel was saying, why don't you go and buy Dad's tractor? So it's like, no, we have a budget. buying his, it won't do us any good. I'm thinking this attached to the world and reality. Why? That is your father's property. You always make a way for family, and I feel like she doesn't get that concept. I don't know how long she's been in LA, but she's just thinking with the pure business mind, and everyone's pissed at her. Remy's pissed at her. Her father's older friend is pissed at her because it's just like, you didn't listen to our advice. You didn't value what we had to say, so we're gone. You spent double the amount on something you really didn't need because you were baited and now everyone's thinking that you have more money than you really do, and the pricing for everything else that you'll need will be higher. But Remy, it also gives, in that same breath says, you know, I have your back. I got one of my friends to go and buy your father's tractor. And she was just like, oh, thank you. But that just goes to show that Charlie really doesn't know what she's doing. She's a little too overzealous, and it's just like, it'll take at least a day for everything to be fully delivered to you. At least a day? Come on, this should be same day deliveries. It's like, no, this is serious. You can't just go back and forth as you please. This is an all or nothing situation. Davis is trying to get Micah to come and eat dinner with him, and Davis doesn't understand what he did was so bad that Micah can't just go and think, well, maybe if I Micah just wants to be left alone. That's the thing. Micah doesn't want to be there anymore, just like what his mom told him would happen. Hollywood's talking to his ex, and Hollywood's just like, you know what we had was what we had. You're a really messed up person. Your sister's gonna come and hang out with you for a while. I'm officially done with you. You can't keep bringing me into this foolishness. Charlie's speaking with Micah, and Micah's just like, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. Charlie's thinking, you know, I think I'm going to have to be down here for a little while to handle the farm thing. And he's just like, I want to go down, I want to go down there too. I want to go to school there. I'm thinking, school's going to be very different from what you're used to, but I guess if it doesn't have the paparazzi or all this foolishness going on, then you may be open to it. So here's that. So Charlie is thrilled because that's what she wanted the whole time, for her son to come down there so that he can be with her and out of that environment. She gets another phone call. She gets a phone call from the alleged prostitute who was raped, and the alleged prostitute's like, yeah, here's how this is going to go. I want $3 million. Now, because remember, the lawyer told Charlie that your assets need to be liquidated because she's going to come at you hard. She wants $3 million and an apology from Davis. Charlie's just like, oh, well, I have to go and see. No, it's an all or nothing thing. It's just like, okay. We're going to go and meet for one last time, and you're going to sign an agreement that nothing else is going to come of this. I'm thinking, this girl looks like a grade A scammer. She's working with someone, because we didn't see who was in the room with her, but she's definitely working with someone. I don't know if it's with some of the other players' wives, but she's working with someone. She could be working with the same lawyer. There's something off with this woman. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, because I don't trust her at